Ginzilla, and I am sitting here with Matt.
Hello.
And today's topic is going to be some blowjays.
Oh, that's amongst, the many topics we're going to be talking about today.
But what really matters is the blowjays.
It's very important.
So what would you say was your worst experience?
I don't know. I've never had any nightmare. Like, I've had roommates that had some girl like puke on their dick or bite it in some sort of way. Never had that. It's always the worst thing that's ever happened to me was that it was mediocre.
Mediocre.
Which I feel lucky to have. Don't have any horror stories.
You know what I think is like so funny is the fact that like this is a guy thing. I know I'm a girl, but I just know this about guys. That if a guy is getting mediocre or bad head, he's not going to say anything. And that's just the fact of the matter. He's just kind of like, just roll with it. But, like, honestly, my opinion is, like, you guys are kind of, like, doing yourselves out because in the same sense, like, I feel like men would want to know if they're giving shitty, head on a girl, I'm sure, like, they would like a girl to tell them, you're
I think some don't, but I totally would.
I guess just some people don't care. I don't know. But personally, like, I'd rather just not have it at all if it's going to be whack. That's like...
See, I think that's the big difference between guys and girls, too. I think, like, if it's going to be whack head, some dude would still say, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
I think I still would, too.
It's like, I'll still take it. But I don't know. Like, I've had head so bad that one time I fell asleep in the middle of it. And he had to wake me up.
I mean, I think I could do that too. I mean, for me, this is weird because I've only come from getting head once in my life, which is really
Are you
weird.
One of those guys that say that?
I just can't. I don't know. I don't want to say I can't, but like
I hear
it's
what's
really
so
rare
hilarious
that I even feel like I'm
to
getting
me
there.
though is like whenever I've ever hooked up with a guy and he told me something like that, it's like, I've only done it maybe one time where I never do it at all, but like I'm not like trying to toot my own horn, but like I never had a problem with it. I've always had success with making a guy reach to the other level.
I mean, I think there's also some people where like they're going. There's a lot of girls who like that's not the goal.
I don't know. I guess some girls just want to leave a stronger impact than others. I don't know, like, cause like to me, if like I hook up with you and I give a shit about you, or I think you're like, grade A, then I'm probably going to want to make sure that you remember me. Going like,
true.
You're going to fucking remember this for the rest of your life. Or I'm going to do something to you that's just going to be so different, or you're first for something. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Like, have you
I'm surprised more guys don't think that way in general because I think, a dude that likes to give head, I don't know how common that is. I mean, it feels like it is somewhat common, but like...
I always hear guys talk mad shit about like, oh man, I love to fucking lick pussy. Like, that's like my favorite thing to do is just to watch a chick come. And I'm like... But whenever I hear that, it's kind of almost creepy hearing that as a girl. In a way, it's just kind of... I don't know. I don't know how I really feel about that.
I mean, but you know how it is. Just like you were saying, like you wanted to leave an impression, like seeing the dude
but
go
I don't say like porn star shit like, oh man, I just love to suck a cock. Like I just love it when comes in my mouth. I don't just go like randomly say that in a casual way, like just like
but guys like
my sex is
say shit.
Yeah, that's just kind of almost a little weird. It's almost like a little weird. It's just like you can kind of turn it down from the full like I think I'm a porn star tone from it. Like you don't have to go like I love sucking pussy or whatever. I'm just kind of like why can't you just go like I enjoy doing cunnilingus or I enjoy giving head or just to make it a little bit more friendly. I enjoy giving head. Why do you have to tell me that like? You just like, I just love it when a girl just comes in my mouth. Like, it's just kind of a little raunch.
I don't know. I feel
Is
like
that not a little... how would you feel if a chick said that to you in a casual conversation? Like, just said it in her way.
That's fine. Like, some people just speak more raw, in general. But I'm used to dudes when talking with other guys, so, like, that's what I hear anyway. You know what I mean? Like, it's usually always raw as fuck. So I'm trying to think of a dude saying this in a public setting and what would be the right way to say it, even if you are, like, you know, still getting detailed. But like, and I've heard dudes say the exact same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And it makes sense.
That.
But then there's dudes that say that, and then like,
they're not.
They don't really
that.
put effort into like, you know, trying to. It's funny because I would say that too. I don't necessarily go around saying that, but I feel that
but
sentiment.
Some guys
kind
of say it in such a way of like they're thumping their chest as they're saying it, you know?
Yeah, I can say I definitely try to go all out, but it's really rare just because like I have to like really want to do that, because if you're just, especially if you're doing it at random, also like you might get caught in a situation you don't want to be in a place, you know, you don't want to be in as a guy, you know, in between legs, you don't want to be in between really, and you don't find out you don't really want to be there until you're about like 2 inches from it.
Yeah. And
then, you know, there's no graceful way to be like, nah, you know, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I changed my mind, you know,
because it's just like I immediately regret my decision.
Yeah, we can just keep making out.
Can we go back? Can we go back? Thanks.
So that's why, like, it's usually always been with someone who's a little bit more, like, that I've actually been seeing for a while.
Yeah.
Like, it's never been some random shit. Well, okay, it has been some random shit.
I mean,
and then that's where I got caught.
You know,
that's where I got caught in a situation where I was like, dude, I don't want to be doing this right now. Like, I do not like this.
No, it's not good. But, you know, I've, like, had some experiences where I've hooked up with chicks myself. And I don't know about you, but I do an oil check. Just to make sure things are right.
I don't think I had the foresight to do that at the time.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
I think now I would think to do that too, because
Yeah.
you're well, to me at least, that's the normal order of things of you doing like.
Yeah, it's just
that
like
you
stick
do
the
that
little
first.
finger in, do a little dipstick check, and just like just casually, just you know, smell on your finger as you guys are making out.
See, but that's after
whatever.
you know, years in the field. I was a young man trying
Really?
to like, you know, and just being like,
that
whatever.
I wasn't that experienced at the time, you know, and I wasn't even expecting that situation to happen. That
Well,
was
it
like one of
seems
those like one night stands.
It seems like that should be common sense too, but and you're a girl though, you know, like
Yeah.
you think, you know, like
I think about things like that, you know, but yeah, I wasn't down for that. She did, you know, and I was so thankful that I had the foresight to do that, because like she didn't pass the check, man. Like something just wasn't right about it. I was just like, I don't want that in my mouth. I was like, don't want that in my mouth. And then
yeah.
And then another really weird situation that I was in was this girl, you know, we were like going at it with each other and everything, you know, it was like hot. And then afterwards, she just creeped me out. She was just like,
I love you.
Oh no, the one that didn't pass the oil check said that to me, actually. She said it on the first night. You know, like
Wow.
she said on the first night, she's like, I love you, and I was just like, oh shit.
Can you imagine what would have happened if you would have gone down on her?
No, man, dude, like, no way. No, dude, oh, okay, let me finish this one story with the chick that didn't, like, pass the oil check before I go on the other one. But, like, the one that didn't pass the oil check, anyways, this was the scenario. It was a house party, and this was at my house, and I was the only girl living with 3 other dudes in a house, and, you know, they don't normally bring chicks over often. And one of the outside friends, he brought his girlfriend over, and he made sure that she brought a girl over. But that was the only other 2 chicks that were around. So all these dudes at the house were all over that one chick. And then it was getting to the point where they were getting drunk, and then they were fighting over her. And then she started crying. And I just told her, I was like, hey, you know, I was like, let me know if you need anything. I'm sorry that you're going through this, you know, whatever. Peace out. I'm going to go to bed. And, like, I went to my bedroom, but, like, my bedroom out of the house was, like, the hypest shit. Like, people loved my fucking bedroom. Not for sex, but, like, I had to set up where, like, as soon as you walk in, you have no choice but to lay down. Because, like, everything was, like, all padded out.
Not for sex.
But, it, you know, I partied a lot, you know, I did some drugs, you know, whatever. I was into it.
You need to fall asleep immediately as you enter
or
the room,
whatever
like,
I
boom,
needed
boom.
to do. No, but check it out. So, as soon as you lay down, it was all darked out. I had the UV lights going on.
Not for sex.
And
not for sex.
But it was a great spot for sex, by the way. But it was like a little cave.
There's a mirror on the ceiling, not for sex.
No, there's a cave, but like they had like I had the UV cobweb going across the ceiling, and I had like these stars going, the glow in the dark stars.
Oh,
so
cool.
like it was
Hey.
like it was super like 3-dimensional and like romantic or whatever. But everything was like padded out. You could fit like 6 people in there.
I missed that about
So like
college.
everybody has to like lay down. Like 6 people, we could just all like lay down, and just like chill out and talk, you know, and I loved it. And then I remember like, I think my dude friend Perry, and then this other kid, I think Kyle. Perry and Kyle were inside the room with me, and I was just like passing out. They were drunk and they were passing out. We were like, oh, okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden, this bitch comes in. I was like, she's never come over before. I was like, why is she coming inside my room all of a sudden? I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So she lays next to me. I'm like, all right, let's go to sleep. And then that's when one thing led to another thing. And this chick just starts straight blowing me in front of my 2 other guy friends. And I was just like, okay, I guess like you could blow me. Cool. And then after that whole little like scenario, she was just like, I love you. Like during, you know, it was like kind of weird. And then like I go to the living room. I was like, I'm just gonna watch some TV. And then she follows me out to the living room. I was like, fuck.
No, that's good, because she's out of your room now.
Yeah, and then she lays her head in my lap. And she's like, why aren't you paying attention to me? And I was like, I gently pat her head with the remote. I was like,
I said, baby, why don't you shake your ass home?
I was just like, because I just want to relax. You know? I was just like, can I just relax?
You're like that cold-blooded dude. Can I just fucking relax, all right? You like just finished and you ran out, right?
Yeah.
Like she's all wanting to hold you.
It was
you just
totally
ran out of the
that
room,
situation.
start watching TV.
It was totally that situation. I was just like, can I just relax, you know? And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to go to sleep. And then she follows me back to the bedroom.
Of course.
And then so, like, she just keeps on, like, snuggling up and, like, rubbing up on me and stuff like that. And then I wasn't feeling it. And I was just, like, acted like I was passed out. And then it was like she was waiting for me to be fully asleep. And so, like, I was breathing like I was asleep. And then as soon as I realized she was asleep, it was getting close to like 7 in the morning at this time, so she finally passed out. So I took advantage of the opportunity, so I started creeping up out of the bed. I was just like, okay, I think I got away. And then Kai was like, hey, what the fuck you doing? I was like, shh. Don't blow my cover, man. Just don't fucking blow my cover.
Man, you had her out of the room. You should have said,
no, she was in the room, and this is as I'm getting up off the bed, and Kyle's still sleeping on the couch.
Oh, I know, but you had her on the outside out of the room.
No. She followed me back in. Like, what am I gonna do? Lock her out and not let her, like... Really? I should have done that?
Or
well,
you'd say,
when she knew that 2
hey,
other people were passed out in my room, too, that would have been, like, mad shady, you know?
Right. You say, no, I'm hooking up with these 2 guys. We
I'm
hang
done
out
with
together,
you now.
yeah.
No fucking way I would have touched those other 2 dudes, man.
I know, but you're putting on a little, you know...
Oh.
Alright, so go ahead, sorry.
So anyways, as I'm creeping, I was like, shh. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm gonna go surfing. So I was like, this is a great way to end an awkward moment with somebody. I'm just gonna go surfing now.
I'd be scared to leave her in my room. All your underwear's gone.
No. Like, all my other roommates were at the house anyway.
All your photos.
And Kyle was like, I'm gonna make a lot of noise if you don't fucking let me go with you. So I ended up having to take him with me. So we went surfing for the whole day. I texted my roommates. I asked her to leave, right? But check this out. This was like the day before 4th of July. So
almost
we had a 4th of July party, and we had a band play there. And guess what? This bitch shows up at the 4th of July party the next day too.
Whose friend was she? Oh, she was the friend of the girlfriend of the other guy.
Yeah,
okay.
And she came back. And I was like, what the fuck? And I actually had to have him tell her to kind of like stay away from me.
No, well, at least you have like 12 dudes that are already like
all about
on the prowl.
Yeah. And the thing is like, I was like gaming on this other guy.
If I were you, I would have told all of them, hey, she told me she likes you.
But this is a weird thing though. Like, it's just like, I was gaming on this other guy at the party because he was like hot. I think he was playing in the band or something that was at my house. I was like, oh yeah, fuck yeah. And I know she was trying to get dibs on him. She was like trying to flirt on him. And I was just like, oh.
You were like, thank God.
But no, he hooked up with me. You
should have went up to her and been like, why aren't you paying attention to me? Who the fuck is this?
Oh, hell no. No, I don't want her to get any ideas, man. That was already crazy enough. I was just like, whoa, it's fucking clingy as shit.
So, what about mind-blowing head?
Mind-blowing head. I mean, it was good and everything, but like afterwards, it creeped me out that she said, I love the way you taste because you taste like me.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, right? It kind of makes you feel like a weird part in your stomach. That's not so good. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of...
That'd be kind of boring.
It's like, you you like licking my vagina because I taste like you?
I don't even know what that means. I mean, I can't.
I mean, what do you mean you don't know what that means?
I can't imagine experiencing that sensation. Anyway, but what about mind-blowing good head that you've received in the years that you've been alive?
The best head was.
Oh, I guess you're right. Okay, so it's not like a moment when you had a good. It's someone who was an artist who had an artistry to it.
Best performance was this helicopter pilot I fooled around with.
I was just about to mention that. You talked about him before.
Yeah.
Because I remember thinking, he was just giving out orgasms.
Yeah, dude, he was a fucking orgasm factory. What about you?
I mean, I try to...
The best.
Well, they're really few and far between. It was a girl that I was just hooking up with, and that was like the first thing she did. And it made me come like immediately, which never happened. I'd never ever had that happen before.
Yeah.
And I was already like 25, and I was amazed because that's never happened before or since.
Yeah.
So of course I was like, oh, you want to hang out again? You know,
yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, what's up? You know, texting.
She put it on you.
Yeah, I was pretty sprung in a way, like in a way like that. Just
like,
because
okay.
No one, I was like, can you do that
Magical
again?
lady.
Nobody ever did that again.
Yeah.
But it was my drummer's ex-girlfriend that he had just broke up with.
Oh,
so
okay.
I didn't want to like
cause drama.
Yeah, but that was really hard. But yeah, I can still. It just blew my mind because it never had happened before. That I don't know what she and I can't explain it either. Like,
see, that's what I'm saying. That's like some satisfaction I get whenever I hear a guy tell me that he just can't. I'm just like, oh well.
Yeah. I'm
gonna put and guess what? You remember her, hardcore.
Yeah, I do. I found her on Instagram too recently.
Oh shit.
She's got a kid.
Oh.
And the father, whoever that may be, is not in any of the photos, but the kid looks like the drummer.
Oh really?
But maybe I'm just thinking that because that's all I've ever known her as being this dude's ex-girlfriend.
That's what you can visualize, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm just thinking that, but it could totally be true. They both still live in the same place. They were, who knows? But I was all into it. I didn't follow her though, but I was creeping and thinking.
See, exactly. Impact.
And I've thought about her.
Because I'll tell you what. Fucking years later, there's been like so many exes or like ex-lovers that still hit me up to this day. It's just like, hey,
and to tell you the truth, if I was in San Antonio, I totally would. Like, I totally
even
would.
States away, they'll go like, hey, you know what? You were the fucking shit. No one's ever been able to top you. I still think about you. I'm like, good and too bad. That's what I want to say. I say good and too bad.
Well, you got me thinking I should do that.
You know?
With her. I mean, that's not really my style, but like, maybe she's gonna be like, hey, well, come see me when you're in SA next time.
Or sometimes they just kind of like, they just don't. They're just like, hey. It's just like an ego boost.
That's what I'm hoping it would be.
You know?
Ooh, I don't know. Like, I don't think that's my style though. To like go, because I would think it'd be in detail. Like, hey, no one else has made me come. Like, but you know what's funny though is like, yeah, it's the impact. Because I'm thinking 10 years from now, even if it happens 4, 5, maybe my whole biology changes, right?
Yeah.
And like it happens every time now, right?
Yeah, but you'll always remember the first time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 10 years from now, I'm still gonna think about that time and be like, yeah, her. Even if for some reason tomorrow it starts being like this immediate thing where I just come immediately, I'll still think about that.
See, I'm right.
Yeah.
See, I have some foresight, man. I totally do. Because I don't know. I don't want to like think about the fact that whoever I've like hooked up with, if they were good, I pick my game up, and I'm like, I don't want to be that guy that was just like, oh, so what was that girl like? I thought, oh man, that would fucking kill me.
Yeah. I've only gone down, well, other than the first like few times, but like after being like 20 years old, I've only gone down on girls I've been really serious with, which has only been like 4.
And how confident are you?
I'm confident, but I'm confident in my. Everybody's different, and you gotta gauge like what you do and how you do it, and like I don't think you can just run in with the same moves on everybody at all.
No, because girls are different.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like everybody's different,
Every
like
girl's
way
different.
So it's a matter of like
guys are pretty.
I guess you're
similar for
right.
the
That's
most
like a
part.
butt.
For the most part, guys are pretty much similar. I mean, there might be some quirks here and there. You know, some guys would have quirks, but it's not quite as extreme as like how different it is between woman to woman. Like rhythm.
I actually think it takes a few like
or the
once
way
or
they
twice,
come.
like for me at least to like get to figure out like
what's going on.
Yeah, like the way to do things. You know, like I think it would take like once or twice.
I don't know, man. Just but
It's
the lame
only
shit. But the lame shit, I can't even deal with it. Like I get more angry.
I mean, I guess I understand.
I'm just kind of like, really, you didn't look at a fucking like anatomy diagram to give a shit about where my spots are. I mean, like the clitoris is not a mythological place. Neither is the G spot. There is a location for it. There is a way to get there.
Right, it's 2014.
There's methods,
that should
man.
Be
the internet's out. You could
knowledge.
read about this shit. You know, like what excuses do you really have? And then like the unlimited amounts of porn that's out there, that you could like look at a video instructional right there to see what's going on. You could read books. Like what? I mean, it's kind of whack.
I think
I get kind of angry. I'm just like, really, you don't.
I think bad head is a mixture of like dudes who like really truly don't know what they're doing and think they know what they're doing.
And sometimes those are the guys that will say, "I love licking pussy."
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like
they're those guys.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that say, "I love licking pussy." I'm like, yeah, right. You think you do, but I don't love getting my pussy licked by you. You know?
Yeah. But I think there's also dudes that like.
I remember
they're doing it
when,
just to do it. I don't know. Like I don't know why you would. Maybe they think it's like guy thing. Like you know, if you can get it, even if it's bad, like then it's good. Not bad, but even if it's not, even if it's mediocre, it's still good. Like it's still you got head. You know.
Yeah, it's what is. But I'm already confident in what I do, so I'm just kind of like, it almost takes like no effort for me at this point. I'm just like, I know this shit's good. You know, like I know this shit's good. I'm used to it. But you know, in the beginning, it wasn't good. It would take me forever to get point A to point B. I was just like, oh. I remember one time, this was like in the beginning, I was like giving my boyfriend head, and I just started spacing out because it was taking a while. You know, I was just kind of like not interested and bored. And then all of a sudden I hear him go like, "I'm coming." And I'm like, I snap back into reality, and then I'm like, no. It's almost like slow-mo, and I fucking dodge it. Like I duck, and then like I'm just like, and then like
Matrix.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, I just like bailed out, and then and I made him like straight come all over himself.
Oh, okay.
I abandoned ship. I was just like, no.
But it was a strong shot. It goes in his face.
I guess it was like a surprise all of a sudden as it was happening. I was just like, oh shit, I wasn't ready for that. I was like.
So you wouldn't swallow then?
When I was like that young, I think I was like probably just turned 16.
Okay, I thought this was about to get heavy.
No, I just turned 16. You know, I just turned 16. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, so I was like, I don't know. You're not used to that, or you can't really like appreciate things like that. You're just like,
you're like,
yeah, straight slow mo. But at least he laughed at the end. He thought it was really funny. He's like, what the fuck just happened? I was like, I'm sorry, I spaced out. We got a good laugh. It's good, at least. It was good. But I felt bad. It was a good thing it was with somebody I cared about.
Yeah. I mean, that's always when you have the best sex of any kind, usually, you know?
This is somebody you care about, yeah.
Yeah. But I also think dudes, they could get in a serious relationship and figure out how to rock somebody's world, and then they think, like, that's all they need. And then so they go out, and then now they break up with that person, they're using the same moves. just for that one person over and over and over.
You know, I can honestly tell too, like when it comes to some guys, and I notice this especially with older men, but like when I hook up with an older man, sometimes they have like a habit of, you know, going through the motions. Like I could tell that these were things that he's doing because of another woman. That shit's deep, right?
I can't even imagine.
It's weird. It's like it's shit's deep. Or
I mean,
like,
I can imagine it with a girl saying certain things. I'm trying to imagine it. Like,
no. Like even like the way the motions are, you know, just like little weird things. Like you could tell that he just did a move that was particularly probably his ex-wife's like, you know, thing, like a quirk. Like maybe she like.
I don't know. I think everybody kind of. I mean.
Nah. It's
there's
very distinct.
That...
It's very distinct because, like, hooking up with a younger guy, you know, when I hook up with a younger guy, it's not like that at all. It's pretty wild. It's kind of like they're just exploring.
I mean, but I've thought the same thing, too. Like, there's certain times there's stuff that people do that's, like, you hook up with somebody and they're doing something that nobody before was doing. And I usually think, I wonder when did they start doing this? Who were they doing this? Their last boyfriend was getting this all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and I've never had this, like, ever.
Yeah.
But so I think of that, and I think of, like, when did... I just think about the fact that they were doing it with someone else before. You know, like, that's something that they learned, like, from another... That I have never come across someone else doing.
Yeah.
Like reverse cowgirl. There's only been, like... That took... I don't know why it never happened, like, in the same, like... squatting over it, you know what I mean? Like, while I'm laying there, I guess.
I don't really like reverse cowgirl. That's more for him than it is me.
I just never happened, you know? And then I was like, oh, shit, okay, like, wow, like, I don't know why it never happened that often before, so I was like, okay, so someone else, like...
I mean, for you, like...
She must have done this before.
You as a guy, do you enjoy the reverse cowgirl? Do you feel
Well, it's one of those things, like...
Do you feel like you could bust off of that?
No.
It's more of a visual thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think I could, like, if I haven't had sex in a while, like, I probably could.
Probably.
But it's not one of
those...
But
generally, it's not a preferred position of feeling good.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, neither it is for me. I guess it's just all visual. I guess it's just for a show.
I mean, to start off with, you know, that's good. And there's always that borderline if it's
really
uncomfortable.
But it's not really a closer, though.
Oh, no, not at all.
No, it's not a closer. No.
Hey, well, this has been 30 minutes ahead talk. Dome topics. Top topics.
Top topics. Brain topics. Getting that genius.
Well, speaking of dicks. Well, I don't know if I should say it like that. Anyway, so Shia LaBeouf was kicked out of Cabaret for making a scene, and now I think it's funny to make up shit because I've heard different stories the whole time of what he did. But so now, if I ever tell the story again, I'm gonna say like, you know, he spit in some girl's mouth, you know, and then he threw he was holding the chair above his head.
That's what Bieber did.
Yeah, Bieber spit in some girl's mouth at the Holiday Inn.
Girl, yeah, that was fucked up.
In Tampa.
Fuck that guy. And then all those
He's on another level
all those
too.
Like young kid racist comments, like he can say he's sorry all he wants, or like, I don't know, he could give blowjays to Lil Wayne all he wants, or whatever.
Look at his face. Just look at him. You know he's one of those dudes that like commonly says, you know, nigga in everything he does, like in his day-to-day shit.
It's just ugly though, like, but I've never felt the temptation to like make racist jokes or racist songs like that when I was a kid, you know, like I never thought that was funny.
I think I did, but not really.
Did you? I mean,
not
like
those
really
that.
crazy
I'm trying to think of the racist shit because we used
like
to
that horrible like chainsaw joke with the N-word that he did, or like.
Man, I'm trying to think. I don't think not song because we used to make up real dumb shit, but I don't think songs. I remember we used to troll. This is like early internet. The first times we were ever on the internet, we used to go in like chat rooms, and whatever chat room it is, we would talk shit about them. So like you go into
well, yeah, I mean that's
you
like.
But you go into the country music chat room, and then you start talking like mad shit about like burning, you know, their CDs and this and that of the artists that they love.
Yeah.
Whatever. You go in the Irish chat room, you start talking mad racist shit about like, the worst shit you can think of, dead Irish people, you know, like all
Yeah.
this stuff. Then you go into, you know, the rap, you know, just to rile people up. Like, just, that's all we would do for like the first weeks that we got AOL.
Oh, really?
But-
No, you know, honestly, I didn't even do that shit, but I could see, like, I saw people like that in chat rooms at the time. I think I was, like, around 12 or 13 years old. But I
See,
was
but
clever. I was clever enough when I encountered people like you. I was clever enough to trace your IP address, and I was able...
In 97?
Yeah.
But it was, I mean...
No, I straight. Like, no, it was so easy. Like systems didn't really have that much security back then at all. So getting someone's IP was like mad easy, especially
From
in
an
like
AOL chat room?
yeah, you could do I don't know if it was like just AOL, but I went on like other site chat rooms at the time, and then I was able to get people's IP from that.
I mean, I guess I get it if you're logging into like a website. This was like the actual like it was like a browsing system, you know, like I don't even understand what AOL was. Like it was like a browser and your email and chat rooms and news and like it was all this one thing, you know, like
Yeah, I didn't have that system.
the internet
I was
wasn't
just on
really
a
opened
different
up.
internet. I just had regular internet, dial up.
That was dial up.
Yeah,
for me
yeah,
too.
yeah, but I didn't have AOL.
You didn't
have
use
AOL.
those CDs because
No.
we started because we had the free CDs that say like
No.
you get 10 hours free.
No, we didn't sign up to that shit.
Wow.
We didn't do AOL.
Oof.
But anyways, once I got the IP address, I would just make your whole screen turn into MS-DOS.
Man, that never happened. That's why I'm wondering if it was even possible. Like,
No, it was possible because people would come back and like, who gave me a blue screen?
when you were like 12.
Yeah. No shit.
God.
I was a fucking asshole.
Acid burn.
Oh, no. Not like... no, I wasn't
Nah,
like...
you were right on that level. Nah, because I used to know how to like spam, like send spam. Like you could get bots, like little programs that would just like
do that.
send 1,000 emails to one address, or like
Oh, yeah.
send 1,000 IMs to one like
Yeah.
you know thing. Like that was always really fun. That's the deepest type of shit I got to. Or you could like fill a whole chat room with like an image of like text, you know, like you just go brrr, and it would fill the whole thing. That was always fun too.
Yeah.
I never got and like as detailed as you did.
Oh. I mean,
With
it was
knocking
fun.
out people's computers and shit. God,
Well,
dude,
no,
I
all
would
you
have done
have
that to
do is-
everybody.
all you have to do is restart it, and you can go back. It's just a dick move, forcing someone to restart their computer.
I would have done that to everybody. I would have done that all day if I knew how to do it.
See, and that's why you didn't know, and I did. I only did it when someone was being a prick. I was just like, oh, cool, blue screen. I was like,
I was blown
I
away
got
by
your
the,
IP, bitch.
I was blown away by 28.8 internet, like dial-up internet, and chat room. That was chat rooms and just finding info, listening to like 10 seconds of a wave file.
Did you ever try to make a website around that time? Like,
Yeah,
I remember I did. I remember like learning HTML codes.
I made a fan page for a local band that was like a new metal band and shit.
And you remember all those like bright color backgrounds, or the ones that do the little like flashy colors before you hit a page sometimes?
I think so.
And then that was like the fancy shit, especially when you were starting to like be able to get flash codes.
Remember web rings?
Web ring? Oh yeah.
Like it would just be, you'd be kind of like linked up. In
Oh
this
yeah, I
thing.
had so many web rings or like little like
That's
icons.
so funny. Yeah. You put the icons in there. I didn't have that though, but I remember seeing it a lot.
Oh no, I was one of those.
I had that fan
asses who
site
did
for.
that.
I had the fan site for this band that was in Texas called Billy Mack. But it got me in the shows for free, and I was like 13, 14.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm trying to think what else. I don't think I had another website at all for a while. In high school, I had a band, and they had a website, and then I just started like contributing stuff. But the guest book there,
Oh,
remember
I remember
books
guest
and
books.
shit?
Yeah. Holy shit.
They had a bunch of people were talking so much shit. Like it was the first time that I was ever exposed to like anonymous hate directed like at me. I was like, wow, like people are really saying this shit. I couldn't believe it. And then it was all anonymous.
Yeah.
So, but I had never dealt with that before, and I was like, wow, okay, this is funny.
I remember, shit. I remember there's this one website I used to like go to around that time. You remember this music blog called Addicted to Noise?
Yeah.
Yep, I used to follow that.
I didn't really go to that often.
Wired, when it was beginning. I remember when it was Wired. When it was
I remember I used to think it was weird.
And Hotmail was actually legitimate. And I remember I used to also go on, like, Green Day sites.
I used to go on, like, Deftones sites.
Because I was a Green Day freak.
Did you ever print, like, a picture of them out from the printer?
Of
and, like,
course.
put it on your wall?
Of course. Are you kidding?
I did that too, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I was a kid.
I'd print out flyers of, like, bands and shit.
I got to see him in person after a concert, though, and I almost, like, flipped my shit. That was, like, the coolest shit ever for, like, a 12-year-old. I was, like, 12 years old. I was like, oh, my God, yeah. And then it was, like, so surreal at that moment. I was just like, it's fucking even real.
I did the whole...
They almost seemed, like, mythological and everything. This is before, like, all this social media shit happened.
Oh, yeah. So, there's, like, still mystery.
There's still quite a mystery, and you wasn't quite sure what the hell was going on. So it's like, wow. You know, like, I read about
And the pictures you get are, like...
minimal.
Yeah, there's 3.
Yeah, maybe 3 pictures, and then you see them. It's like, no way! You know, like, I've seen this 3 pictures, like, a million times, but no way!
But I think that's fun. I think that's fun when bands start to try to create that, too. Like, create the mystery again, which is kind of rare, but I'm trying to think who did. Ice Age, I think? No, not Ice Age. Fuck.
Artists do it.
I forget the name.
A lot of artists
Woo Leaf.
do it that way. What are you talking about?
Woo Leaf or Woo Life. I don't know what it is.
Oh, I don't know.
World. I don't even want to say what it is. God, it stands for something. But, like, they didn't do any interviews. They didn't have any photos. All you knew is where they were from. But, like, I knew, and that they were young. But, like, they didn't have any sort of, like, image at all.
Which is good. I mean, it worked for, like, Daft Punk. You know, it worked for Kiss for the longest time. Yeah,
but that's even with an image, you know? Like, I mean, they are anonymous, but it's still an image, like a striking image. I mean, Slipknot.
Well, I mean, if they want to do a live show, they're going to have to use something.
But they were playing local shows, but they didn't have, like, that many. They had, like, 1 or 2. And then they put the albums out, put the EPs out, but, like, there were no, like, photos or anything. I don't think so. But
still, they're going to have to use something.
I mean, yeah, eventually, yeah. But for a while, it was just this mystery of, like, how many are there, like... Who are they, like, what do they look like, and, you know. But it was interesting because I felt like that mystery hadn't been around since, you know.
Well, Banksy.
But I mean, a lot of artists are like that, too. I mean, that's what's fun about graffiti in general, like, seeing even somebody that's always in your neighborhood, but, like, even if it's something you see all the time.
You don't know their face.
It's, yeah, and that's why that's fun, because, like, you know they're in the same area you are as often as you, pretty much.
Yeah. You don't know who.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess. But in a way, it's, you know, some people are very open about it.
That's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, some people are really open about it. You know, they should just know their identity. There's, like, tattooers that are graffiti writers, you know, that have their face out there, their name out there, you know. But I'd be way too paranoid, personally.
Yeah,
like,
I always think that's funny.
I'm, like, too paranoid. Like, I don't want people to know that. I think that's why I never wanted to really get into graffiti or street art or, like, do something about that, was because, you know, I feel like I'm public enough, and...
Nah, but it would be like your Batman, you know? It's that thing you don't talk about. It's that thing you don't, like, it's that thing you do.
Yeah.
It's really addicting. I mean, I got into it for a little while, but, like...
But the penalty, man, it's just way too crazy.
But at first I didn't really care. Like, I was just like, yeah, whatever, dude, it's fun. And then you get, like, a little rush, you know, especially if you do a bunch.
Yeah. But, you know, I just don't want to spend $9,000 for...
Yeah. But there was a time, too, where I was like, man, yeah, I could pay that. I'll do, you know, whatever. Boom, it doesn't matter. And that's when I got way more confident, when I knew I could, like, do that. But, like...
No. It's okay.
Yeah.
I want to keep
but
that
maybe
9,000.
I'm just getting old. It's one of those things that's like a young man's thing.
Now, if I was, like, crazy rich...
Yeah, that's
you know,
annoying.
if I was, like, crazy rich, yeah, that'd be kind of cool, you know, because I could just fucking pay the shit off, whatever. But, you know.
I feel like there's a few that are like that, too.
Well, yeah, there's definitely a lot out there that have the money to be able to take care of that. And then also, like, there's also the drama of, like, graffiti crews fighting with each other.
Oh, yeah.
So
or
much
even just
fucking
individual,
drama.
yeah.
I hate it. I don't like drama. I mean, and that's another thing about, like,
that's
almost
why you gotta
any
keep
group of artists together, it's just so much drama And
That's why you gotta keep it Batman.
Yeah, I don't like any of that shit. You can fucking keep it. But at the same time, it's a necessary evil. You have to also be social to be an artist as well. You know.
I don't know. I feel like it's somewhat. I mean, I don't know with graffiti that. I don't want to say all beef is like warranted, but I feel like it's relatively easy to stay out of it, in terms of going over people or like biting off people or like. What's it called? I don't forget what it's called now. When you just sort of dip into them, like you're not going over them totally, but like.
But people sort of, you know, always bite each other all the time.
Well, I mean, blatant, you know, like, I mean, because you can bite off, like, I would think it's okay to do it off, like, another, I mean, 2000s and shit, like, in this 2000 stuff, you want to steal someone's E, exactly how they did it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think that's big, but I'm talking, like, now, maybe someone who's still writing actively.
Yeah. No. That's the thing, shit's dumb. There's nothing that's...
I mean, yeah, well, that's the thing, too, like, at some point, but I think it's this sort of, I don't know, it becomes addicting. Like, I still think it, like, you get, you know, and then later, especially if you're all drunk or whatever, and then later you're walking around and you, like, see your shit all over the place. You're like, God damn, dude, I did that.
Yeah.
Last night, shit. That's a lot. But then you're like, all right, yeah, that's cool. Or you see one, you don't even remember doing it, and you're like, holy shit, that's crazy.
I mean, I did it a few times when I was drunk.
That's when it's really fun.
No.
That's when you get the balls. That's when you get caught, too, most likely, too.
Yeah, you get caught.
Or you get all coked up, run around.
Yeah, not good. Not good, man. Cause that happened
start
to me.
climbing,
I
start climbing
got
poles.
in trouble almost. Almost got caught. So fuck that. No way.
Well, there came a point, too, where, like, I don't know. It's just, yeah. You can't put yourself in that. Okay, so you said you had never heard of Holler If You Hear Me?
No.
Okay, that's the Holler If You Hear Me.
Okay.
It's the play based on the words of Tupac.
Okay.
Or the songs of Tupac. Using his music and lyrics, it blazes to life in a non-biographical story about friendship. I didn't know any of this. I didn't go see it. I'm not trying to give a review of it or anything, which is kind of stupid. I'm about to talk shit.
Oh no.
I'm not really about to talk shit. I have no, but it's like, I didn't think it was, it's not even about Tupac.
No?
No.
Oh.
Somebody else made up a story. Oh, like, what's the story with the Beatles shit? The Broadway thing where that had it's a story about some guy that plays music and falls in love. Across the universe, or once.
You know what? You're down on the play shit. I really am so like,
I'm
lost.
I'm not though.
Compared to me, you're probably way more.
I haven't seen a play in 2 years.
Guess what? Never.
I mean, I was about to say you're in New York, but like I've never been to like a symphony thing or like opera thing or like one of the big festivals out here. I've never been to one of the bigger festivals either. Governor's Ball. The South Street Seaport has something too, some block party thing that people play at. Oh, the Mad Decent block party is always over there.
That shit's like way too hype right now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it's a New York thing though, that like you should probably go like one of those outdoor festivals that's like a big deal out here. That it's one of those things to experience, like the opera, like
or the Mermaid Festival.
Yeah, well, just some outdoor festival in New York is a thing to experience, like the opera, like Broadway. You know, like going to just shows out here in general. Anyway, I don't know a lot about plays. I don't really go see them. But, like, I've heard of some that are really good, like that Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
I heard it was really good. I didn't know that this play was not, I don't know. It's just kind of crazy. Because already, just seeing the posters in the subway, I was like, oh, shit, okay. Why are they doing this?
I heard it was, like, nothing but awesome.
Really?
All my friends told me Book of Mormon was fucking awesome.
Oh, man, I'm talking about Tupac.
Oh, Tupac.
The Holler If You Hear Me. I was like, man, you heard, that's all you heard, was great.
Oh, no,
I was like, wow. I wonder. The funny thing is, I'll probably never see it. I still really want to see Book of Mormon, though. I'm never down to pay, even when it's like discounted a bunch and it's like $70. I still don't want to see it.
I'm not really into it. If I'm going to spend like $70 or whatever, I'm going to do something like Sleep No More, if I could.
Oh.
If you don't know what Sleep No More is, Do you know what it is, Matt?
It's like a murder mystery thing that's like interactive, and you're walking throughout these rooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they sort of they enact these like pieces to a story, I think, and they loop, right? Like,
Yeah,
so
it's kind
like,
of based off a Shakespearean play, and
but
then
like,
you have to figure out who the witch is.
but they loop. They say the same, like they say the same thing over and over, right? So like if you go to one room, you don't really have to go back because you already heard what they're gonna say, and they're gonna say it again to somebody else.
No, it's kind of like, it is kind of a loop, but in another way, it's like, you could ask some questions. You know, you could interact with the actors, and they can give you clues.
Okay.
And then you can go through, like, the showrooms of each room of the play, and then you could, like, search through, like, the cabinet that they might have, or you can look on the desk.
It's like a role-playing game. There's like a little square.
It's kind of like role-playing, totally. It's like being in a video game.
They should have one person in a room, and they walk in and say, "I am Error."
But it's
Or
interesting,
like the Zelda
though.
shit. Yeah.
Because, like, one of my friends is, like, so addicted to it, he's probably, like, been to sleep no more 50 times now.
But how much time do you get to figure it all out?
I'm sure it's, like, an hour or two or something, right?
I guess. Well, you haven't been to it?
He kept on trying to get me to go, but I can't do that because...
That's funny, yes. I've never
I can't
been.
do it because I have a very addictive personality. So, which is a reason why I had to make myself stop doing video games or playing video games, because I can't stop.
I mean, that's a little different because you can...
But that's just like a video game.
But not... I mean, you can spend $70 or however much a video game
I want to
costs.
solve it. That's the problem. I want to solve it. It was like the longest time... I don't even know if anyone solved the mystery here in New York, but I know someone solved the mystery in Boston.
Ugh, you can go through it and not even figure it out?
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's what's so addicting about it.
Man.
That's what I mean. Like, it's too addicting. Like, I would kill me to be in a scenario like that and not be able to know.
I think you would stop yourself.
You think?
Kiko would stop you. You say,
No.
you got an addiction.
He wouldn't stop.
An expensive addiction.
He wouldn't stop.
I think it's different in video games. Because video game, you bust $50, $70, and you're playing that every single day for a week, you know.
But that's the problem. You can put a lot of time into it.
That's why I wonder how much time do they give you, like, before they're like, can you get out, please? Show's tomorrow.
I don't think you can spend all day there.
Oh, did they start in the daytime?
No, it's nighttime.
Oh,
I don't think you can do that.
That's what I'm wondering. With 4 hours?
I imagine maybe between an hour or two.
I got a bunch of those masks from out front of that place.
Really?
A long time ago.
So, as you guys can probably tell, we're eating like some munchies right now because they're just fucking assholes, stoners.
Oh yeah, I'll
just straight eating in the middle of the podcast. I'm sorry,
I mean,
guys.
I'll describe what I'm eating. I found a bag of these like Starburst minis.
Yeah.
And they're not the same texture as Starburst. Like, I feel like a regular Starburst you wouldn't be able to hold in your hand that much. It's like kind of sticky. These are not like that.
It almost looks like little cheeklets.
Yeah, it looks like they're harder than they are, but they're very soft. And yeah, it's it's very sweet.
So
it's
yeah, I'm a
much.
bit healthier. I got a kind bar. It's a peanut butter dark chocolate, and it's like one of those healthy grains. It's straight like a granola bar. I fucking love it. So I would say that's probably healthier than Starburst, in my opinion.
Depends on
And I don't think it's vegan because it's got the red on it. So I think it's like maybe like crushed beetle or some shit.
You can eat the yellow ones.
Is it gluten free?
I don't think so. They're really good though.
Okay, now we have hit the portion of the Higher Learning Channel helpline. If you have any questions for us about, dating, relationship, life, or whatever questions, maybe even about us, you could even ask us what's our favorite color. We don't care. Just feel free to go to higherlearningchannel.com and click on the helpline link and feel free to ask us a question. Please keep us posted. We will read and respond to your questions. If you want to keep it anonymous, which most of y'all seem to be doing lately, then feel free to. There's no problem. Just keep listening. And what do we have for the first question?
Okay. Dear Higher Learning Channel, my 2 friends were dating for 3 years. They are breaking up and things are getting awkward when we hang out. How can I remain friends with both of them and not feel stuck on one side or the other?
That's usually a very tough situation for anybody to be in, really. I guess it also depends, how are they both acting. I'm sure that they're both probably talking shit about each other while, you're present, which that totally sucks. But the best thing to do is, you just have to remain cool and a diplomat about the whole scenario. Just understand that it is a hard time, I know you're trying to be a friend and sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming, but I feel like, communication is definitely the key on that. Just kind of go hey man, I'm totally down to listen, but I'm not going to pick sides, because I'm still friends with both of you. Or, honestly, sometimes it's totally okay if you cut ties with one of the parties. Maybe it's better that way. It makes the breaking up process a little bit easier, because you might be in this situation where, one's asking about the other person and, you're their only link to that. And that can be really annoying. So you might have to, tell one of them, hey, can we just cool off on the communication about, relationships for about, 3 months, or, probably talk about this to someone else. I still want to be both of y'all's friends. What do you think, man?
My advice would be just basically the same thing, just to back off for a little while. Even if it means that you're not hanging out socially as much as you did. I'm imagining that this person's sides. Really close to the point. I'm trying to imagine a situation where it would be really awkward, where you're really close with these people. Maybe you hung out with both of them in a real, almost daily, to the point where not hanging out with them is sort of...
It's almost like breaking up, too.
Well, yeah, you notice the void of not hanging out with them.
Yeah, because it's almost like you're going through the breakup with them, and it's almost unfair for one of them to even, make you pick a side, for that matter, It shouldn't even be like that, because if they're your friend, they should understand how hard it is for everybody involved, and maybe everybody needs to kind of back off and cool off a little bit, because picking sides definitely, not very fair.
If I was thinking if you're, it's either you're friends with one of them from, in the past, and you're probably gonna somehow lean towards talking to them more during it, just because you're more comfortable with them or you know them more. There's probably one or the other, or you know them both. That's what I was trying to go with, is if you know them both the same, and you really can't choose.
Yeah.
It's not someone that you've known for a while, or that's helped you through something when the other one didn't, or that you just knew. If you have the same sort of relationship with both of them, you're kind of friends with the couple themselves.
Yeah.
And that's why them breaking up is so weird. And that's why I think distancing, which you said, you've been distancing yourself for a little while, is good. And
also just kind of keep the whole topic about them as each other in conversation as a whole no-fly zone. Just don't let that be a topic at all. Just go hey, we just shouldn't talk about this.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's another one. I think that's about all you could really say about something like that,
Okay. Hi, Higher Learning. I hooked up with a close friend one drunken evening. It was a mistake, but I don't have the heart to tell him. He has been acting clingy, and things have never been the same between us. How do I get things back to normal? How do I get back in the friend zone?
Yeah, that's very awkward. I think I've probably went through that situation myself. It's almost impossible not to talk about it without making it weird, I think it's something that you're going to eventually have to talk about at one point or another, especially if you want to still be that person's friend. I think if you choose not to tell them about how awkward that was, just suddenly become busy. I don't know. Like I think
It's
just
very hard.
It's very hard, but I mean, like it's one thing or another. It's either you shit or get off the pot. Like, are you just gonna go ahead and try to ignore it for a while and let it cool down? You know, like go like, hey, you know, I got really busy.
That's gonna be hard though.
And or just like let them know. It's just like, hey, like I'm gonna be really busy, but don't make it too soon. You kind of have to like gradually get to that point. And this is a lot of work, especially if you don't want to be telling the person that this is weird, you know.
If you don't want to be harsh.
Yeah, if you're really adamant and like not making this a situation where you want to talk about it, I guess you're just gonna have to complicate things and just make a little show.
Yeah, it's always a weird situation to be in.
You know, like going back, because the easiest thing, to be honest, is just to go ahead and just tell the person. It's like, hey, I know we were really drunk the other night.
And this also depends on how close the person really is, because like if it's someone who's not in your like immediate circle, where you don't see them that often, then it's almost easier
to say you're busy.
Straight up tell them. I mean, not even rude, but even to to try to take finesse with it, you know.
Yeah.
But like, it's easier to do it as opposed to someone who you actually really really care about, that you see daily or like extremely often.
I feel like telling someone that you've known for a longer time would be easier. My opinion.
I mean, in a way, yeah, I guess it would. I mean, if you're really really good friends with them, but I'm
that
thinking about
shouldn't even be an issue, you know.
Yeah, but there's some people, I don't know. Like, there's some people who. No, I guess you're right. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting older now too.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking like,
you think there'd be a little bit more intimacy between friends like that.
Because there is a girl that like, I mean, we had
easier.
something going on way back, you know. But like, I've known her since I was like 14 years old.
Yeah. And
like, I still have a thing for her, but if something did happen and she was like, "No, we can't do this," you know, I think I know her now and I've known her for so long. We talked, like, there's no way I'd throw that away just for that, you know. But I probably would act on it, you know, and I wouldn't think I was throwing it away, meaning like that it would get weird or anything.
Yeah.
But I know her enough to where, man, like I couldn't see that ever like making it weird just because I finally told her that, which I'm sure she has an idea of that.
It's like, no. No, I mean, no, it's fine. I think like if you have like good communication with that person, it's going to be totally easier to tell them. But I'm just getting in the impression that this is probably one of those more casual situations. So I've where you probably maybe see this person around town, or you run into them. Maybe you guys hang out like once a week or something. I think that would be probably an easier situation to suddenly get busy.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I was thinking too, yeah, depending on how close they are, because someone who knows your schedule also is
that's like, tough. It's like, I know what you do every day, you know, like then it's kind of weird. That shit's kind of weird. If it's one of those, then, you know, I guess you're just going to have to go through some hoops or tell them.
That's when it's really like just hard, because you don't want to, I don't know, you don't want to hurt anybody.
Don't hurt nobody's feelings.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Okay. Dear Higher Learning Channel, my relationship of 5 years just ended. How can I get back out there and not feel like a troll? This is a guy.
5 years is a long time. Obviously there was something that was like an emotional situation for this person. For him to feel very awkward.
I think there's no easy answer to this. Like, it's gonna take a long time to not feel awkward being out there and about.
I mean, it's definitely like a fight or flight. So I feel like the past 5 years might be more of a flight situation where you're just not preferring to address it. Or
definitely
maybe
go out with friends, like go out with people that know you, at least to the point where they can give advice on like, well, do this, do that. Because I can't don't know. It's hard to really give advice on what to do when you don't know like the personality type or like.
Yeah.
Like I think, but going out with friends, at least you're out there. they're probably seeing where you're fucking up, where you're not doing something, what you just said. I can't believe you just said that.
Yeah.
Don't ever say that again. You know, boom, you just learned something.
Yeah. Or, I mean, you know, it definitely helps to go out with friends. Definitely put yourself out there. I mean, it just goes back to either you're going to shit or get off the pot. I think that's my favorite motto. It's like, are you, what do you prefer? You know, do you feel like you're at the right place in your life to be dating somebody? Do you feel like everything's going to suddenly become serious?
That's the thing, too. I was thinking that there's no age on here. So, like, I think that's also different.
It really depends. I would definitely stay away from, like, dating websites.
Woo! That'd be, yeah.
That's just, like, bound to be a very awkward situation every single time, my opinion.
It's funny because that's, like, I feel like that's everybody's, like, that's the easiest thing to jump to.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's all very aesthetic and everything, but
I think
also,
you're in a desperate place and you shouldn't be
you shouldn't be there
interacting with other humans in an emotionally charged state like that.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a desperate situation for desperate people, then you probably shouldn't be doing that. You know, you should probably be taking your time on it. Maybe it's like something within yourself. You should probably also like feel more confident. Like,
but that's kind of the beauty of it. It's a fucking circus. Like, yeah, do it because everybody else is probably just as damaged. Like, just jumping off of their last relationship or whatever reel they're going on.
But you attract what you put out. Definitely, you really do attract what you put out.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't really feel so confident in yourself, or if you feel like you're not at the right place in your life, then you're probably not going to find that in another person, where you're going to meet somebody who's in a right place in their life, or someone who's at the same ideals as you. You know, so just also be careful. Just make sure you're good before you want to have something good from someone else. That's what I say.
Yeah. Love yourself before you love another. It's something like that. Someone said it one time.
You know.
Somewhere.
A long time ago.
Someone else wrote it down.
Some guy in France.
With fancy pants. Alright, well that concludes the Higher Learning Channel podcast. I'm Matthew Sire. You can reach me on Twitter at SIGHR_.
And I'm ginzilla. You can find me at meetginzilla.com. You can find me on Twitter as ginzilla. And you also might find me on Instagram as well as Akuma Suicide, AKUMASUICIDE. I also want to give a shout out to some of my friends at the other podcast at 7 Days of Geek. I want to say hi to Oz. I want to say hi to Corey at Evil Teddy Bear Podcast. I want to say hello to Kurt at Kings County Comics. There's a comic book creator site. You could probably catch me there as well. So anyways, thanks for listening, and we look forward to more questions. Peace out.
See ya.